I've got this giant pork loin, and I'm going to turn it into some Canadian bacon. This weighs 6.72 pounds at $1.49 a pound. That came out to $10.01. Definitely not complaining about that. We're going to get this log of hog out of this plastic and then get our cure ready. First thing we got to do, though, is get this in a tub, lop it in half so it's a little bit easier to work with, and we're going to pat that dry with a paper towel. For our cure, we're going to need a cup and a quarter of just some regular table salt, followed by a cup of brown sugar, a cup of maple syrup, along with a tablespoon and a half of just some coarse black pepper, followed by a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of ground cloves, and a teaspoon and a quarter of some curing salt. Next thing we're going to do is just whisk that together and make sure we get everything nice and incorporated. As you can see here, that maple syrup makes this cure very difficult to work with. I struggled getting it out of the bowl and onto the meat, and that's because I forgot to add a cup of water to thin it out. But once I did that, I went ahead, threw some aluminum foil on top of this tub, and that just went in my refrigerator for a total of 7 days. And now 7 days is up, and it is time to smoke our Canadian bacon. We're going to go ahead and get our fire going. Meanwhile, we'll jump into the kitchen, take a look at this meat, and see how we did. I pulled it out. It was very, very stiff, which is exactly what we're looking for, along with that deep red color you see there. The next thing we got to do, though, is get this rinsed off, get that cure off of there, give it a good shake, and then we are going to dump our coals into our firebox, throw on a piece of oak, and get this smoker up to temperature. I'm aiming for 225 degrees, and once we get there, we'll go ahead and get our bacon onto the smoker. This is going to go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so we're just going to sit back, enjoy the smells, hang out with Luna for a little bit in the backyard, and then about an hour and a half, 2 hours in, we'll go ahead and temp this, see how we're looking. Looking for about 145 degrees. I'll take 147. We'll go ahead and get these things off of the smoker, and then they are going to go into my kitchen. They're just going to rest on the stove for a little bit before going into the refrigerator to cool down even further. Now it's time to slice right in. This looks absolutely fantastic. Going to be much easier to slice cold. This deli slicer is awesome. Makes perfect slices every time. I mean, just look at that. That is a great slice of Canadian bacon. We've got a whole bunch here, so we're going to put these into some half-pound bags and vac seal them. We'll throw them into the freezer for later enjoyment. But we're going to enjoy some right now. Going to spray this down with a little bit of oil because this is a lean cut, so don't want it to stick or burn. And now we are just frying some bacon. It smells incredible. You can see a little bit of that sugar in there burning on the edges from that maple syrup. And I got to say, I cannot wait to dive right into this. That looks delicious. Let's give it a go. Oh yeah, that is some good bacon. That's a winner for sure.